I'm Yen from InvestPenang, and I'll be your MC for today's session. Before introducing the speakers, here's some notes to all participants. Please be informed that this 1.5-hour webinar is being recorded and participants will be in listen and view only mode during the whole session. If you would like to ask any questions, feel free to type your question and specify to which speaker the question goes to in the Q&A box on your Zoom screen. We will address the questions during the Q&A session. Without further ado, I would like to introduce our distinguished speakers. In this series number 4, together with PERSOLKELLY Malaysia as our collaborative partner, we have invited industry leaders from Western Digital, Braun Medical Industry, and Zebra Technologies to share insights on their companies, on new job opportunities, and career advancements that you could explore. Our first speaker is Mr. Braun, Managing Director of PERSOLKELLY Malaysia. Mr. Braun has over a decade of experience in recruitment and 8 years in the banking sector. He is currently the Managing Director and Country Head of Malaysia at Kelly Services. Next, we have Mr. Vishy Ramaswamy, Vice President, Flashback and Operations and SDSM, General Manager of Western Digital Batu, Kawan. Mr. Vishy is a global executive with direct experience in driving the strategy, management, and growth in R&D, engineering, and manufacturing operations across SE Asia. Our third speaker is Mr. Ben Ong, General Manager HR of Braun Medical Industries. Mr. Ben is a strategic HR leader responsible for APAC HQ, global intravenous access, metal technology, and pharmaceutical production with 7,500 employees based in Penang. He joined Braun in April 2019 and responsible for attracting, developing, and enabling high performance of talents in workplaces across 16 countries in Asia Pacific as the region head of talent and organization development. Then we have Mr. Chong, Director of APAC Customer Support of Zebra Technologies Malaysia and the site lead for Penang. He has over 20 years of experience spanning across project management, program management, and call center management. Mr. Yam is a true believer of innovation and is currently championing the Site Innovation Council, rolling out various innovation activities and programs. Last but not least, we have Mr. Kamarul Ariff Dato Marzuki as the moderator for our Q&A session. Mr. Kamarul is the Associate Director of Client Solutions for Evo Business Consulting, which is the outsourcing arm of PERSOLKELLY Malaysia. His primary role is in the business development for Evo, as well as managing the ITO operations. He comes with vast variety of experience in the areas of business development, sales and marketing, project management, and client management. To start off this session, I would like to invite Mr. Braun, Managing Director of PERSOLKELLY Malaysia, for his sharing entitled Mentality versus Capability. Over to you, Mr. Braun.
Thank you, Ian. Just wanted to do a sound check. Can you all hear me?
Yes, Mr. Braun.
Thank you, Wani and Ian. Good morning, everybody. I would like to first applaud the spirit of all the participants who are attending this event this morning. It's a weekend, but yet you have chosen to attend this event to learn and grow for your future. So great effort, everybody, the participants in these events. Yeah. So I would also like to thank InvestPenang for having us, PERSOLKELLY Malaysia, as your collaborating partner. PERSOLKELLY, we have been sharing the trending of the market with either employers or employees over the past 1 year, especially after or during this pandemic, where the market is constantly changing, especially the employer platform. So we wanted to share our responsibility or execute our responsibility to share exactly with the market on what's the trending in the market. And today, I'm truly pleased to be given the opportunity to share some of the market trending with all the participants today. The title that I'm executing in my presentation today is labeled as mentality versus capability. I'll share more with you all later. Now, in my presentation today, I will also be sharing with you all some of our observations over the past 20 months already after our first lockdown on what is the current market trending, as well as the expectation from employer perspective to the working talents in the era to come, especially in this era of new normal. So first, let me start with sharing with you on some of the observation in the market, specifically in the employer and talent trending currently. Ian, can we move into our first slide? All right, I'll start with the left corner, the green statement. Through our observations, so employers nowadays, they will focus more on candidates who have the right mindset and mentality than capability statement. Exactly aligned with the title that I want to share this morning, mentality versus capability. Now, I'm not saying that capability is no longer important, yeah, because during the last session, I can still remember when I shared this with the graduates, some of the graduates in fact tested me and say, Brian, are you saying that, you know, what I've been studying over the years is like down the drain? It's no longer important? Employer is not looking at that anymore? No. So obviously capability inclusive of academic background will continue to stay relevant and priority for employers. But however, learning from this pandemic, what happened is now even in PERSOLKELLY Malaysia over the past 20 months, especially since the first lockdown impacted by the pandemic, we have realized that a lot of top talent of ours, I'm taking PERSOLKELLY for instance, same goes to our clients. We have also observed a lot of top talents, in fact, they have fallen into the mentality dilemma where they are unable to retain their stake of mentality health. Hence, they're unable to move on, unable to move forward, especially after this pandemic. So hence, resulted from all this observation, I think employer across all industry will take more priority and focus, especially when come to evaluating during the interview process, that they would like to see a stronger mentality in the candidates or talents that they are interviewing, as well as matching capabilities, right? So mentality, having a right mentality mindset is very important. And this is why in my earlier session, I started with congratulating each and every participant here today, because it's not easy to actually wake yourself up early in the morning to attend a learning event, especially during weekend. For those who make it, I can assure you, you are half successful because you have the right mentality with you already to start with, right? Now, second statement or observation on the orange statement there, what we have also realized, especially during this pandemic, the job applications status become more during this pandemic. Now, it's also resulted into the unemployment rate that our government has shared. As all of you know, we are still in the midst of addressing a high unemployment rate in Malaysia now. Now, thankfully, the unemployment rate has dropped from, you know, at one point of time above 5%, then to 4.9 or 4.8%. The recent one should be 4.5% or below, right? Now, exactly how many are there in this 4.5%, 4.8%, right? During the 4.8%, they were in total about 780,000 job seekers looking for job, and out of which a good 30 to 40% of them are fresh graduates who just either graduated or alumni who graduated for more than 12 months, but still unable to secure a job. So in most of the industry moving forward, in fact, for the upcoming 1 to 2 years, the market will favor towards employers market. Employers market refers to the supply is definitely over than demand. Yeah, where in each job application, I'm just giving an instance based on PERSOLKELLY's data. What we realize is before and after, before the pandemic, in every job posting that we post on the website, we will receive usually an average of 15 to 20 profiles or CVs. Now, this is inclusive of non-qualified CVs as well. After the pandemic or during the pandemic, what we have observed is one job application will attract roughly about 35 to 40 applicants. Yeah, and in Penang, I've also pulled out the data, and because PERSOLKELLY, we have a branch in Penang as well. And in Penang, compared to the generic ratio of 1 to 40, one job application to 40 applicants, in Penang we have about one ratio of 1 to 30 to 35. Right, it's much lower in Penang. That also indicates that it's less competitive for talents who apply for a job in Penang from there. Moving to next points, more jobs created will be on project and contract basis. Now, for those job seekers out there, what I would like to share my advice with all of you is now, while organizations are strategizing still towards their business model transition, there will be more and more contracting job, project basis job, assignment based job being created in the market. For fresh graduate especially, my advice is grab whatever job which will help you to build that knowledge, build that experience, even though it's a 3 months temporary job or 6 months project basis job. As far as this job matches with your capability, with your aspiration, while waiting to secure, of course, a permanent job, which everybody prefers this, I would advise that go for that project basis job. Yeah, even if it's project basis. I was asked by a fresh graduate before, Brian, I know job hopping is a pantang larang in the job market in Malaysia. If I were to participate in all these project assignment, will that make my profile look bad? Because all my profile will show 3 months, 6 months, 3 months, 6 months, right? Now, it will not. It will not. Now, obviously, you need to explain to the job interviewer that all these are project assignment-based job, right? Most important, they will evaluate whether you have completed the job, you have completed the assignment with achieving your KPI. So that's what they will evaluate. It will not damage or ruin your profile from there. Yeah. So next point is, of course, employers in Malaysia will be changing their hiring process to virtual. Now, in fact, this I'm not worried about this at all, especially job seekers from the younger generation, like most of you here, generation Y and Z. You guys are the expert, in fact, when it comes to all this technology, digitalization. You already have the basic knowledge. So it's easier or much easier for each and every one of you to pick up all this digitalization platform for you to adapt yourself into it. But yes, this is a trend where we are seeing employer moving their hiring process into virtual platform by relying on digitalization or technology. Last but not least, the observation that we have observed is obviously employer, while moving into the technology and digitalization platform, that will also impact their hiring requirement, where they would expect the talents to come with a basic technology and digitalization knowledge. Again, this is not a concern for the job applicants that I believe I have in this room, because all of you would have that basic knowledge. Now, however, for those who think that, yes, I have that knowledge, but I still want to upskill my knowledge or my skill within the technology and digitalization, do leverage and grab hold of all the learning and training opportunity which is made available in the market now for you. right? Government has initiated a lot of training program. I'm giving an example, like for instance, My Step program, which is initiated by our government. PERSOLKELLY as well. We are working with government in this initiative to train all the fresh graduate, especially fresh graduate who graduated but unable to secure a job for more than 12 months. This year alone, we are helping about more than 300 graduates to secure a job already. Now, of course, before securing a job for them, we would have trained them on the necessary soft skill and technical skill to ensure that they are ready to cope up with the work or job scope in the market. Now, if you need consultation during this period of time, especially many of you who are still seeking for jobs, especially if you have already attended few interviews and still are unsuccessful and you are not sure why, yeah, I would advise you to talk to either your HR contact, or if not, talk to consulting firm like us, so that we will be able to assist you and advise you accordingly from there. Yeah. So yep, I understand that I only have 15 minutes today, so I will spend more time covering on my first slide because I think this is important data for all the job seekers, especially to be aware of on the expectation. Next slides, please, Ian. All right, these are some of the mentality. It's just some of the mentality, not all that I would like to share with you that is expected out of the talents moving forward. Let it be you are from job seekers or employees perspective. First of all, of course, critical thinking. Your analytical skill becomes more and more important, especially during this pandemic. Everybody knows that all this fake news, or a lot of news are actually flowing around the market. It takes a good, intelligent research individual to really digest the information, to evaluate whether this information is reliable, true or not. So evaluation skill, analytical skills will continue to stay important, especially in the job that you're going to partake with, where you are going to be flown, of course, with a lot of information that organization would expect you to digest it. Adaptability and flexibility, I don't think I have to explain this a lot because everybody knows that you have to adapt. And I believe you have heard of the quote before, that the constant in life is change. So the market will continue to change. Your employer will continue to evolve, transit towards betterment of everybody. Yeah, speed is also one of the requirements. Now, speed here refers to the sense of urgency. I wish I can share more, but yes, just take note, sense of urgency is important in the market. Required, no matter what role you're in, the sense of urgency must be equipped with you. EQ, emotional intelligence. Again, I believe all of you know what's the requirement in this. In this short pandemic, I've interviewed a lot of candidates that shared with me and say, Brian, I don't know why, but suddenly I find myself, I'm becoming more and more short-tempered, right? Becoming more and more impatient, especially the younger generation, because everything is accessible through mobile, through internet, right? Waiting or patient becomes an art rather than a skill in the era moving forward. Yeah. So opportunities here refers to the sales mindset. While companies evolving to a new era, in regardless of whatever role you're in, you are required to have the sales mentality that will portray, of course, the opportunity mindset, right? So what employer wanted to work with, the partnership with all the employees, is employees who are able to partner them to move forward, partner them to expand their business. So hence, sales and opportunist mentality is important as far as you would like to partake in any jobs in the new era moving forward. Last but not least, innovative. Again, this part, I don't have to think or elaborate further. It's about think out of the box, or in fact, think without the box. Yeah. Next, please, Ian. So these are some of the feedback that our clients has given when they were to hire a candidate. they are expecting the candidate to come with what kind of soft skill, right? I would just like to elaborate further about, of course, good communication skill. Good communication skill here refers to not only the way you speak, but the way you articulate as well, to ensure that the message that you are trying to deliver across, especially during the new working normal era, where a lot of companies are going into this hybrid work model mode, where they will allow you to work from home, some, yeah. So articulation skill become an art, because if you're unable to deliver your message across through digitalization platform, then you will not be able to execute your job effectively or productively. Yeah. So the rest, I think you would have known. Basically, these are the demand or requirement from the market. Yeah. So what I wanted to point out here is like what I mentioned earlier. You can have the best academic result. You can have the best experience if you are today a job seeker that you have been employed before. You can have the best of everything when it comes to your skill set, when it comes to your experience, even knowledge. But however, if you don't have the right mentality to start with, you will never be able to move on with the job. The requirement from employers in the new era moving forward, I've been hearing a lot of like business partnership. Whenever I speak with an employer will tell me that, hey, I want to hire someone who can partner me. It's no longer work for me. It's about working with me to grow forward, expand forward. Yeah, and I want to establish this business partnership with employee. Yeah. So employee are ready to partner you with that growth. So you must also be ready to partner them with that growth as well, working closely with the employer. Yeah. So I have this video, a clip that I wanted to share with you before I end the speech of mine today. Ian. Thank you.
That's not good.
Oh, I don't need this. I'm already late.
Somebody will come. Anybody out there?
Do you have a phone?
No. Sorry. Somebody! Hello? There are two people stuck on an escalator and we need help. Now, would somebody please do something?
Help!
I don't believe this. You gotta be kidding me.
I'm gonna cry.
Well, there's not enough left to do, is there?
Hello? Hey, don't worry about it. I'll fix it in a second.
He said he can fix it. All right. All right. That's more like it. He says he can fix it.
What's your thought on this video? Sorry, organizer. I mean, Wani and Yen, I know I've eaten up to Mr. Vishy's time now, but give me another like 1 or 2 more minutes. Yeah, like what I've mentioned, through this video now, this is in fact one of my favorite videos that I will make sure that I view it at least once a month to remind me how important mentality is. Now, as both of you can see in that video clip, right, both of that individual who was stuck on the lift are actually talents, because see how smart they were, right? I'm sure they have certain capability with them, right? But look at how mindset determine whether they will move forward or be stagnant, right? But in that case, in this video clip, both of that individual choose to be stagnant. And can you imagine, yeah? Another lesson that I always learn is you just need to imagine, right? If one of the individual choose to move up from that escalator, what will happen to another individual? I'm sure that another individual will follow the other individual to move up as well, right? So this is how influential you and also your colleague playing a role in the office or workplace together with you, right? Because if you just need to mix with one negative individual, then of course your surrounding will be darkened. So another tips for each and every job seekers of you is try to, of course, blend in with those individuals who can help you to grow in your career path, not those individuals who agree in your negative action, who will support you to continue to be stagnant in whatever that you're doing now, right? With that, I'm ending my speech. I hope that you learned something from today's sharing. If you want to know more about the market trending, PERSOLKELLY Malaysia, we have a branch in Penang. We welcome you to talk to us. So I can assure you all our consultants are more than happy to share with you the best advice, best practices for you to secure a job in the market as soon as possible. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Brian, for the interesting sharing. A kind reminder to all participants, if you would like to ask any questions during the session, please type your questions and specify to which speaker the question goes to in the Q&A box. Your question will be addressed during the Q&A session. Next, please welcome Mr. Vishy Ramaswamy, Vice President, Flashback and Operations and SDSM General Manager for Western Digital Batu Kawan, to share on SDSM as First Malaysia Lighthouse Network. What does it mean to you? Over to you, Mr. Vishy.
Thank you, Wani, and thanks, Mr. Brian. Good morning, everybody. I hope you can hear me well, and the video is coming through okay. Again, firstly, I'd like to thank InvestPenang for having us join this session to share a little bit about Western Digital as its forays on this journey on the Lighthouse Network, what it means to you. We'll try to explain that, as well as I'd like to thank all of you for taking time off on a weekend to kind of listen through, and we are encouraged and look excited to share some of this journey with all of you. So with that, I'd like to go to the next slide, please. So again, at the heart of Western Digital's journey of trying to get to the next level with whatever projects or initiatives that we embark on, culture plays a very big role. I'm not going to go through each one of these, but I'm just going to highlight the big three that we really use as our mantra every day as we go through work, right? And those are thinking big, making it happen, and doing it together. And that's at the foundation of everything that we do. And that was kind of come across even as we went through this really steep certification process globally, collaborating globally, working together, and thinking big to make this happen. Next slide, please. So a little bit about Western Digital Batu Kawan. We are 6 years young. You can see a picture of the building. These are some of the products that we build. We build client and enterprise SSD. Some of the gaming products that some of you have used. WD Black, that's a big one that that's built out of this site in Penang, in Batu Kawan. We have grown to 2 buildings in the last 6 years, and we have room to grow further. What's of interest to us is really the distribution of the headcount with DL and IDL. DL is our operator force, and IDL is our engineering and technician workforce. And what you can see is when we first started, we had more DLs and fewer IDLs. But over the years, we've actually gone through this learning journey where our DLs have become IDLs. And likewise, our IDLs are becoming, technicians are becoming engineers, and engineers are becoming knowledge engineers to help drive some of the initiatives that are happening at Western Digital Batu Kawan. Next slide, please. Our vision is basically to be recognized as a role model for best-in-class manufacturing and packaging technologies. That's at the heart of everything that we do. Our mission is to architect a leading-edge IR lights-out manufacturing operation to enable the Flash business unit. We're part of the Flash business unit. Western Digital also has a hard drive business unit in Penang as a part of our media facilities. So we want to continue to lead the storage market. And 4IR lights out manufacturing is at the heart of this. Next slide. So a little bit of how the ecosystem has been developed. Our wafers are produced out of our joint venture between Kioxia and Western Digital in Japan. And the wafers actually make our way to our two big captive sites. We call it captive because they're owned by Western Digital. There's one in Shanghai and one in Penang, which is SDSM. These are our centers of excellence. What's unique about Penang is that we actually have a world's first actually vertically integrated site. That means a wafer comes in and a drive goes out in a box to our customers. So we are unique in that sense compared to our sister site in Shanghai, where they work with our contract manufacturers to produce finished products that we ship to our customers. We also have a network of contract manufacturers in Thailand and Taiwan that help produce some of the products that we develop on course, right? Next slide, please. So again, switching gears a little bit to the recognition, Western Digital Batu Kawan was recognized as the first lighthouse as part of the first lighthouse in Malaysia as part of the certification process, joining 89 other lighthouses at the World Economic Forum. But as a recognition for that, the Malaysia Book of Records also recognized Western Digital Batu Kawan as the first lighthouse certified by the World Economic Forum in Malaysia. And we are very, very proud and happy to see this recognition and thankful to the Malaysia Book of Records. Next slide. So again, going back to the topic of discussion, as I mentioned, there are 90 lighthouses that are deemed lighthouse worthy for by the World Economic Forum. And it's a very, very rigorous and selective process where only the top 5% actually get selected. So Western Digital Batu Kawan is privileged and honored to be accepted as part of this World Economic Forum Lighthouse Network, the Global Lighthouse Network. And also we are very proud to be Malaysia's first lighthouse. And that's part of the sharing that we also are, as part of our responsibility, are sharing some of our know-how with some of the suppliers and customers in Malaysia. Next slide, please. So our focus, and this is probably of interest to a lot of you, right? How do we achieve this and how do we go forward? So a big part, I think, to Mr. Brian's presentation, a big part of this journey is our people. People are at the heart and at the foundation of everything that we do. Mindset is key. The knowledge and the learning and upskilling mindset, that's really at the heart of driving this, driving our readiness to go into Industry 4.0 and beyond, right? Because as we go beyond Industry 4.0, we see a future where human and machine interact. So there is a learning and upskilling is a big part of that. And in addition to that, the tech ecosystem, connecting the supplier to the customer is also going to be play a big role in driving this journey, as well as automation and analytics. We've done a lot, but our work is not done. We need to continue to innovate, make our operations actually predictive and prescriptive. So by predictive, you predict a problem, it's going to happen. By prescriptive, you actually provide a solution to make that happen. So at the heart of all of that is also the infrastructure, right? Because if you have a lights out network and suddenly the network goes down, IT infrastructure is very key. So 5G and IIoT stack plays a big role in making sure that we keep running 24/7, right? And one of the things that Western Digital has also embarked on is a target that we set for ourselves, that we will be reducing in terms of the products that we build, 42% of the emissions will be reduced by 2030. This is a corporate target, and this will also be at the heart of what we do in terms of developing technology, in terms of developing processes that we implement in our manufacturing sites. Next slide. So this is a traditional view of how our operations were in 2016. We had a lot of operators doing a lot of manual work, moving material, storing material in cabinets, preparing manual reports, using manual checklists, using manual planning. What has changed since then? If you click again. So what you see now is where manpower is now replaced by integration of man and robot. ARVs do all the movement of material. All the material that is stored in smart storages that we have, that we call ARS. We're also using RFID extensively. We also have the smart glass that replaces a checklist. And it's actually, we're at the cusp of this. We're actually going to develop further technology to drive additional usage of the smart glass. And all of this is controlled through our iCommand Center, where machines are remotely diagnosed, triggered, problems are solved remotely. And at the heart of all of this is this brain that we call ASD. It connects our machine, it connects our systems, and it tells what machine to do what as we go, as we build product and get ready for the future. So this is a view of where we are today. Next slide. So what's next? Beyond this, we see a future where, at the heart of our operation, like I mentioned, wafer in to a box out, we want our operations to be predictive and prescriptive. At the foundation of that is APC, as well as smart AR and AI. AI is critical because beyond machine learning, we also need to get to deep learning. We also need to get into the knowledge management. So those are the things that will connect our supplier to our customer to give them the product of the highest quality with a predictable quality that they desire. Next slide. So this is just a view of our of where we are today and where we want to be. As I said earlier, you saw a picture of 2 buildings. We have room to grow beyond that. And this is our futuristic view of how we envision our operations to look like. Actually, we've started a lot of construction on that already. So this is how it will play out in the next coming years, right? So again, we are excited about the future. And with that, I think this is the next slide as a cue to Mr. Victor, my colleague, who will walk through the rest of what it means to be at Western Digital. So over to you, Victor. Thank you.
Thank you, Vishy. Next, please. So good morning, everyone. My name is Victor. I'm actually from the talent acquisition team for Western Digital. So my team actually managed the end-to-end university process, which basically includes these 2 core programs that we have, which is RAM and Launch. So these 2 programs actually serve, as the foundation of what Western Digital early, career talent pipeline. Okay, so RAM actually offers interns, hands-on experience. Give them the opportunity to gain, real-world industrial experience, as well as insights into our Western Digital company, culture. Okay, so whether you are pursuing, your undergraduate, your master's program, or your PhD, right? The Western Digital RAM internship program will give you the exposure, and experience to get off your career off the ground. All right. So in tandem, interns actually can evaluate if, Western Digital is a place they like to grow their career, right? So the end goal of this program is basically to evaluate performance as well as, convert interns to the Launch NCG program, which I'll talk, right now. So Launch is actually a platform to ensure that, our new graduates or new college grads success as they begin their career, right? So our future success basically depends on having the best minds working with us today, okay? As a fresh grad, you will participate in our launch program during the first 6 months in your full-time role, right? This program actually provide you the tools and the resources to adjust to Western Digital. And, in this program, you actually take a deeper dive into the professional life at Western Digital, by getting exposure to the different parts of the organization, all right, in addition to your day-to-day work, right? So the fundamental to both the RAM and launch, of course, you include training and development. You get exposure to the senior leadership team in Western Digital. We have lined up, some very interesting engagement activities internally. And there will be mentor, we will assign you a buddy during the program, right? So this RAM and also launch. Next, please. So our hiring process is very straightforward. There are 5 stages. You can actually see all our, current openings, not only in Malaysia, but globally. If you navigate to our Western Digital slide webpage at jobs.westerndigital.com. All right. There's a full list of open requisitions in the different countries that we operate. So you just need to create an account and submit your application. All right. Our recruiters will go through your profile, and if there's a job match, that's where we'll call you up and set up the interview. Okay. Because of the pandemic right now, all our interviews are being done virtually. Okay, so if you're selected for a job, then we'll come up with the verbal offer, and everything will be done online. You'll be accepting the offer via our applicant tracking system as well. And then obviously, when you come on board, you go through all the onboarding orientation stuff. Next, please. Okay, these are just some of the career opportunities in Malaysia. I'm not going to go through them. What I said earlier, if you navigate to our career site, all these job openings are in there. Details, the job requirements, the expectations are all listed, in the job advertisement. All right, next, please. These are some of the awards that we have won. All right, we are one of the most ethical companies. We have actually won this award 3 times in a row. The next one that I wanted to highlight is, we are one of the most preferred graduate employer in Malaysia. This is for 2021. The survey was actually completed by about 24,000, undergraduates in Malaysia across all the different universities, and we are actually in the top 10. Okay, being listed as one of the most preferred graduate employer. Okay, so if you have any questions or inquiries about career opportunities with us, you can contact me directly, or Ariff, who's my counterpart at our Batu Kawan office. All right, with that, I'll end my presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Victor.
Thank you.
Okay. Is there a video to show? Sorry.
Yes, let's go through the video. Yes, just a short video. Then we can.
Okay. Okay,
thank you.
Sure. InvestPenang, we can't hear the sound. Please reshare again. Thank you.
Malaysia is strategically positioned in the heart of Southeast Asia. Located in the Silicon Valley of Malaysia, Western Digital Penang is a vertically integrated manufacturing facility that owns end-to-end processes of solid-state data storage products.
To become eligible for Lighthouse consideration, companies must demonstrate how they have integrated industry-leading 4IR technologies into the operations at scale at their sites, and how they have created significant impact and have an ecosystem of a strong transformations office, enterprise data architecture, demonstrated workforce upskilling achievements, and partnership with suppliers and customers to sustain the transformation. To date, there is only 90 Lighthouse sites worldwide, and it is a great milestone for Western Digital Batu Kawan being the very first Lighthouse designated in Malaysia. This recognition has set us as an icon of global standard for smart and intelligent manufacturing sites that have deployed at scale the advanced 4IR technologies such as artificial intelligence, robotics, IoT, and advanced analytics, to name a few. It helped to transform our operational, financial, and sustainability, efficiency, and competitiveness at scale. Our 4IR journey has been a fulfilling experience, where our operations have been transformed and resulted in significant impact to the company and the people. We excel beyond 4IR, driving ourselves in realizing the lights out manufacturing as the end in mind.
So the advantages are far and beyond. I think what struck us as a big factor during the pandemic was how we were able to continue to grow as a site despite challenges of employees being on quarantine or employees being affected by cases in the community and so on and so forth. But at the heart of it, beyond productivity improvements, beyond capability improvements, the second part that I see valuable ever since we've got on this journey of automation or 4IR is the predictable quality that we're able to produce, and last but not least, an opportunity for our employees to continue to learn, to continue to develop an operator to become a technician to become an engineer to become a knowledge engineer. And that journey will continue to happen on the site. I think our work is not completely done yet. This journey continues. We have a long way to go in terms of taking 4IR to the level where we can leapfrog to Industry 5.0, where human and robot work together. That is the vision that we're striving towards. So I think we've done a lot, and the recognition that we've received as a result of that. But I think our work is, we're just getting started on this journey to the next level.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Vishy and also Mr. Victor.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you. So now, before we enter to the third sharing session, we would like to present to you our My Penang, My Workplace testimonial video series entitled Sky is the Limit. Please enjoy the video.
The industry that Penang has is not just limited to one scope, it's actually super diverse.
Penang has all these quite notable companies that provide me those kind of opportunities.
Hi, I'm Nadia. So I'm actually the Strategic Program Development Manager here at Clarivate, Malaysia.
I'm Guan Chin, and you can call me Casey, and I'm currently the Marketing Manager at Clarivate.
So to me, I wanted to break those kind of stereotypes. Of course, Penang is home. I wanted the chance to come back home and to say that, hey, despite all this, I can apply my education in different ways. Penang, I think, is a place that is very rich in different industries, right? Number one, we are an FTZ area. We're certified as an FTZ area. We have over 300 multinational companies based out here. So what I love about Penang, the fact that it's rich by itself culturally, whether it is with food, it is with the people, or even with nature, right? And it's the perfect cross balance between urbanization and heritage, I would say.
where I live in now, I can just go to the cafe and grab a cup of coffee. Very, very convenient. And I think the price is also quite acceptable, reasonable.
When you live in a very high-end location, so irrelevant of your earnings, right, the expenses is still very high. But if you want to see some form of, to have some savings and have a good quality of life, Penang is the perfect choice for you.
I would say be bold, take a very bold step to settle in Penang, because this state has its potential and its uniqueness.
There's always talent, better opportunities elsewhere, but Penang is a market that gives you that same opportunity with a better quality of life, with a very good cost of living. So take the chance, take the risk, and I'm sure that you would be happy with the end results. And this is my Penang, my workplace.
This is my Penang, my workplace.
Okay, so moving forward, we have Mr. Ben Ong, General Manager HR of Braun Medical
The industry that
for his sharing entitled, How Can You Contribute to Protecting and Improving the Health of People Around the World from Penang. Over to you, Mr. Ben.
Thank you, Yan, and good morning, everyone. My name is Ben Ong, and I am from Penang. So if you move to the next slide, please. I'm responsible for leading Braun in Malaysia to continue as the top employer in the healthcare manufacturing industry. And my sharing today is focusing on how you can contribute to protect and improve the health of people around the world, all just being in Penang and working in Penang. I'm actually personally quite excited with this sharing, and I'll tell you why later on. And my slides will be broken into three very short segments. Number one is to introduce the attendees today briefly to Braun as a company globally, if you're not familiar. Number two is to Asia Pacific, and I'll tell you why Asia Pacific. And number three is Penang specifically. Of course, I'd like to share my appreciation to InvestPenang and also to all participants and speakers today for putting this event together. So can I move to the next slide? Braun started a very small pharmacy called Rosen Pharmacy in a small place in Melsungen in Germany back in the year 1839. So you can imagine it's been a long time. And if you move to the next slide, you will see that today, 180 years later, Braun is now the worldwide leading healthcare company with sales over 7 billion euros and almost 1.3 billion euros of that are contributed by entities in Asia Pacific alone. If I move to the next, and worldwide, we have more than 64,000 colleagues located in all around the world. We're present in literally all corners. Some of them are in production, some of them are in the commercial organization. Next, please. So what do we do? Well, all of us, regardless of function, we contribute in protecting and improving the health of people around the world. And what does this mean to you? Well, the thing is this: if you're choosing employment as kind of the way you contribute to the society and generate income, then hopefully you find an employment that you can connect yourself with the purpose. And for me and my colleagues in Braun, the way we connect to our organization where we seek employment is the fact that everything we do moves into the direction in protecting and improving the health of people around the world. It was just last week, I had a colleague from quality management. He needed to do a small procedure in the hospital, and he was so proud taking his mobile phone, snapping pictures of 2 or 3 products that's just around him on the hospital bed and posting it up to our WhatsApp group and saying that he's a proud user of a product that we produce in our company. This is what it means. And we can do that with colleagues of 64,000 people around the world, all over the continent. If I can move to the next. We have 16 therapeutic areas that we're good at, and these are a simple graphic of what it actually means. And if you are in your medical field yourself, you might recognize some of these things. Like me, if you're not, then you get to learn about some of these things, and more importantly, how it impacts the patient's life. If I move to the next. So you saw just now the 16 therapeutic areas, which literally have 5,000 products and more than 120,000 articles altogether. If I move to the next. So obviously we continue to grow by investing a lot in how to make our products and services better, more efficient, and also more safe, yeah, for our patients' use. So next, please. So the last few slides was just a simple, brief, quick intro of B. Braun as a company globally. Why did I decide to put that in this particular segment? Is to share with the attendees that what you will be joining is not just a factory in Bayan Lepas. What you will be joining is a global organization that actually produces products, deliver it to our customers, administer it to our patients to protect and improve the health of people around the world. And that includes you and your family and friends anywhere they would be living, if at all they're in the hospital. Now, the other unique feature about my employer right now in B. Braun Asia Pacific, situated in Penang, is that we here in Penang is the headquarter of Asia Pacific. I've been in the workforce for more than 20 years. It's not so normal to see that the little state of Penang, particularly even the little island of Penang, having a headquarter of a Asia Pacific organization. So we're not just shipping our products to another country in Asia Pac. We're not just taking raw materials from another country. We literally run the Asia Pac organization via Penang. In Asia Pacific, we have 16,000 employees. We're responsible for the 16 country sales and offices with 10 production sites across the whole region. If I move to the next. These are some of the, these are the countries actually where we have our B. Braun offices in Asia Pacific. You can see on the far left, in the South Asian countries like Pakistan, India, Sri Lanka, and on the far right, Japan, Korea, Taiwan, Hong Kong, and obviously China. Why is this map important to you as a potential candidate to join B. Braun? Is that you then have the opportunity to actually learn from another country, and also potentially, if that's your aspiration, also work in another country. We today have colleagues in several of these countries that originally started in B. Braun Penang. If I move to the next, and if you are in the technician, engineering, site-focused jobs, you also know that we have 10 production sites all across Asia Pacific as well. And this is important because while we make different things in different sites, because we're running this organization as an Asia Pac organization, that the cross-transfer knowledge is also very regular. So engineers, technicians who are specifically responsible for an area or a particular machine, you then have an opportunity to cross knowledge in these countries as well. If I move to the next. So something that I myself didn't know before joining B. Braun is that we actually also operate 58 dialysis centers directly, which means this is the dialysis centers that we actually run and own, where we treat patients every day who need help. So that's something unique that is outside of the factory that we do. Next, please. So specifically now into Malaysia and then Penang, right? So we have been in Penang. Next year will be our 50th year, and we'll definitely love for some of you to join and be part of the next 50 years as well. So we've been around since 1972, and these are some of the numbers which I won't read them out. We also have a smaller organization in Petaling Jaya in Klang Valley, just beside the One Utama shopping mall. That's where our sales office for Malaysia is. We have close to about 200 people there. And that's also where we operate the 12 dialysis centers as well. If I move to the next. So some of you may have seen what most Grab drivers or taxi drivers or people who pass by say, the colorful building by the road, the Bukit Gedong Road. This is a picture of that from an aerial view. This is where the B. Braun medical industry in Penang, where my office is as well. So like I said, next year will be our 50th year here in Penang. We've grown physically from building to building, site to site, a lot. We now have many, many buildings, and this is some of the things we do in Penang as well. You can see in the next page. So while the 16 therapeutic areas and the 5,000 products, these are some of the products that we actually make and ship out from Penang, from the medical devices on the left to the pharmaceutical solutions in the middle, and also the surgical instruments to the right. You can see we're quite diverse in terms of the production to the rest of the world. Next, please. The other thing that's also unique for the B. Braun Group is that we here in Penang is the center of excellence for the intravenous access products, the one that you see on the last page on the left-hand side. We are the global COE, which means we are not just a factory that produces for B. Braun. We literally own that profit and loss, and we run that business as well from Penang. And this is also unique because it's not always you get a global company which has a COE, particularly in this side of the world. And especially proud that Penang was chosen for that location as well. What that actually means to you is that if you're an engineer or an R&D kind of candidate, then you're actually working not just directly in the production, but also your contribution goes to global, as we are the global COE. If I go to the next. So we also run a skill center, yeah, where we actually train our customers, which are nurses, doctors, surgeons, you know, in the Asia Pacific region as well, not just Malaysia. So we have the in-house, we call it the Escalab Academy Skill Center, that we actually, before the pandemic, welcome all the doctors and nurses in-house. If I go to the next. So that was really the very, very quick snapshot of introduction to B. Braun as a company, healthcare manufacturer, to the Asia Pacific headquarters that we have in Penang, but also the production side that we have in Penang. And the purpose I did the last couple of slides as a quick intro is to give all of you, either you are a job seeker or you are a recent graduate that you're thinking about, to give you an idea very quickly of how you can contribute to protect and improve the health of people around the world. But I specifically now want to call out, if you are joining this session and you are not from Penang, that currently you're in Johor, in Kelantan, in Sabah, in Sarawak, in Malacca, in KL, in Perlis, you know, I really want to speak to you, because the reason why I said in the beginning that I was personally very excited is this. I was born in Penang, I went to school in Penang, but I've never worked in Penang until 2.5 years ago. So B. Braun is my first ever employer in Penang. So I'm one of those people who go to university. I went to university in KL, started a career 10 years in Kuala Lumpur, and then moved to Singapore for a couple of years, did some nice work there, and moved also to Europe for a couple of years. And for very interesting personal reason, that we decided to come back home, like the video before me, the lady spoke about. So Penang is my home. And I'll really encourage, for those of you who are not from Penang, really, really think seriously how Penang can be also home to you. Because you can see now from the last few speakers, and maybe also the next one, that combined, we are certainly a great economic opportunity for you to grow your career. But let's also be honest, after work, Penang is also a great place to be. You know, I can tell you in comparison, food is really inexpensive and tastes much better. So Penangites, I'm not talking to you, you know that already. But those of but attendees outside of Penang, you really have to see the non-financial benefit of living and working here. Going everywhere is very easy. We're all 15-20 minutes away. Compared to those days when I was in KL, everywhere is 45 minutes to an hour. You waste time. Yeah. And number three, you really can enjoy the nature. We're just by the beach, where also you can go many times of different hiking as well. A lot of sports and cycling activities you can do, all in this little place in Penang, and including the mainland. So there are really many professional reasons, but there are also many personal reasons that you should choose Penang as your home and also your workplace. If you specifically like to take this invitation seriously, I think it's your time now to join us in Braun. Find out more through our website, the LinkedIn and Job Street and Facebook, and also the email. In the interest of time, I'll just quickly click through the last few pages just to give you a visual look how these 5 channels look like. So go to www.bbrown.com and you will find the top right corner, the thing that talks about company, the tab that says company, and you will see the career page. Go just put in Malaysia and you will find a whole list of job opportunities for Malaysia. The next is LinkedIn. We're also very active in LinkedIn. When you go to LinkedIn, go to the search field, just put there Braun, put their location Penang, and you will find also the list of available opportunities. And also speak to us directly via LinkedIn as well. If you go to the next, we're also very active in Job Street. You can also find our vacancies in Job Street as well. And if you go to the next, in Facebook, so the Braun MY Careers is also there. All our opportunities are there as well. And the last but not least is the email address that you can also speak directly with us. If you're an intern looking for an internship opportunity, write directly to this email address. And if you'd like to put in your CV for a particular application, this is a direct email address. With that, I just want to end my slide and with the statement that says, it's your time to join us. And Jom Pi Penang. Thank you.
Thank you, Ben. And finally, let me invite Mr. Yam Chiu Chong, Director of APAC Customer Support of Zebra Technologies Malaysia, for his sharing entitled Build Today, Create Tomorrow. So please welcome Mr. Yam.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Ian. I think first of all, I'd like to appreciate InvestPenang for the opportunity to share with all of you on the Zebra story. Also, I would like to thank the participant to join the sharing for today, this morning, right, on the weekend, and to learn and to explore on any opportunity that's available, right. I'm Yam. I'm the Customer Support Director at the Zebra Malaysia. This year, next slide, right. This year is our 52 years. Zebra have embarked the journey, right, in innovating at the edge, right. So the story started with 2 guys, $1,000 and a dash of entrepreneurship spirit. This is how Zebra was born, right. Zebra have empowered those working on the front line since 1969. And since then, the world have changed, right, evolved. So has Zebra. But one thing that haven't changed is our commitment in innovation, right? So at present, Zebra already grew into the 4.4 billion business with close to 9,000 employees globally, with present in 128 countries. Next. Where are we, right? I think one of the questions that always asked, what are the industry that we serve, right? Zebra have been in many key industry in retail, warehousing, manufacturing, healthcare, transport, logistics, and field operation. And always, right, we are innovating, at the edge where the transformation is happening, right? Next one, I'm going to share about the video that on the things that we are doing, right? Ian, next.
Look closely. What do you see? Can you spot a zebra in the aisles, letting him know what customers want right now and showing him what's out of stock? What about this zebra she counts on to keep parts stocked and production lines moving? Or a zebra that knows just where to find the dishwasher this couple ordered online and load it perfectly for next day delivery? A zebra is making absolutely sure she's giving her patient the correct dosage of medicine. You'll even find zebras in the field, picking the perfect tomato. So Grandma gets a birthday dinner she'll never forget. You may not always see zebra, but zebra lets you see what's important, what's critical, and what's next, ensuring every asset and worker is visible, connecting them to the data they need, optimizing workflows, operations, and decisions in real time to turn uncertainty into opportunity. Because whenever businesses and people find their edge, Zebra is there.
Thanks, Yan. Let's move on to the next bit. So in the previous video, you might spot, there's a lot of exciting technology that we have delivered, in the area of the retail store, warehouse, supermarket, in the transport logistics, or even in the airport check-in counter, right? And the list goes on, right? And any technologies that are involved on the digitization, right? Digitization is a very heart of what we are doing, right? In capturing the attribute, tracking the asset, and contribute to the big data, for the analytic. So it can be shipment that you are seeing just now in the video, goods. It could be food, vaccine, or even those very critical organs, that we need to do it for the transplant. There's time sensitive and temperature sensitive, right? Or medicine, right? And all this tracking in terms of the asset tracking, real-time feedback is very important, especially for the decision making, right? And there's no limit on how the solution, can be applied, right? And one of the very important portion is motion matter, and this is what we do in Zebra. Next. So this is a snapshot of the innovation journey that we have in Zebra, right? It started in 1969 by a pioneer, Ab Kaplan and Gerhard Glasch. In 1979, 1982, this is how the first barcode scanner and barcode printer, have been created. And moving into 2004, 2008, that is another transformation that are moving from a wire to wireless, where we have a first wireless printer as well as the wireless scanner. And moving on, right, the list moving on, into 2014, we have acquisition of the enterprise business division from MSI, right? And we further expand, in our mobility computing portfolio, right? Also in 2014, NFL, right? So we have put in a real-time solution, we call it Motion Work. They're able to track all the player in the game, right? All sort of movement they have play in the field. And the list goes on, right? Moving into 2015, 2016, Android solution become available. And 2017, we are moving into big data, right? Through the Savannah solution. And for the past 4 years, right? In 2018 to 2021, Zebra continue, right, to add more solution into the portfolio, into ruggedized tablet, temperature tracking, prescriptive and predictive analytic, AI, automation, and workforce management. I think the recent addition is into the robotic solution. Right? Next. as of Zebra Malaysia, we have established our presence, started in 2014, right? We have two present in Malaysia, in Penang, Bangladesh, and the other one is on KL, and KL is our sales office. And we have grown from the initial workforce, about 100 plus employee, to current 500 plus employee now, right? And Zebra Penang at Bangladesh is our largest footprint we have in Asia Pacific on the global business services hub, right? Where it comprises of the contact center function, where we are supporting our customers 724 regionally as well as globally. And we also have the finance shared services in Penang, managed shared services function, supply chain, procurement, IT, marketing, right, in Penang, right? So at present, we have about 90% of our employee in Penang is from a local talent, right? And we also have expat, right, talent from different parts of the world, Japan, Korea, Thai, and even team member from Europe, India, Philippines, and with a very diverse talent pool we have. And this really gives us an opportunity, you know, to learn from each other, you know, learn from different background. Next. In 2019 is an exciting year, yeah, for Zebra Malaysia, because this will be our 5th year anniversary to have a presence in Malaysia. And in addition, this is also in conjunction with our Zebra 50-year anniversary globally, right? So on the 15th of October 2019, we have an honor, you know, to have a presence of our honorable guest, Penang Deputy Chief Minister YB Ahmad Yakiuddin, and InvestPenang CEO Dato Liden Lu, together with our Zebra Asia Pacific GM Ryan Gore, and also we have our global services SVP Jenna Stanley, support services VP Matt Beveridge, and together with our one of the pioneer that setting up Zebra Penang, right? Saikun Pan Maha, our senior director for the support services, and for those that know Saikun, he is our very strong advocate for the Zebra Penang, right? Present in Penang, right? Next, right? So moving on, I think it's important to talk about the culture, right? In Zebra, basically, inclusion and diversity have always been our core culture, right? That we always dare to listen from a different voice and opinion, and to see how we're able to collaborate and achieve the business objective, right? In specific to Zebra, I think for the past 1 year, we have also looking into ways how we are able to give back to the community. I think one of the things that the team member have raised out last year is during the pandemic when it started, and we all understand that there's a shortage of the ICU bed and medical supply in the Penang GH, that we are, you know, working together, you know, to see how we are able to donate, right, and give back, you know, and to support the state to go through that pandemic, you know, last year. And the other portion on the important aspect is our employee engagement, right? It has been always be the key for Zebra, right? Every year there will be team members that volunteer, you know, from each function, right, to work together to drive engagement, employee engagement activity, to promote collaboration across function. And not forgetting recognition. In Zebra, we are very specific. We call it as a GEM award, right? It's a way how we are recognized. Team member, it could be a peers, it could be our subordinate, to go extra mile, you know, for our customer and beyond the line of their duty, right? So in summary, I just want to say Zebra is a very people-centric organization, right? that focus on people business engagement, driving collaboration and innovation. Next. And things I would like to say, right, talk about is innovation does not stop at the product and solution, right? It go all the way into the things that we are doing. I think last year and this year, the Zebra Employee Engagement Committee, go extra mile, right? We all know that we have been going through the MCO for the past 2 years, and a lot of activity have been transformed from a face-to-face activity to the virtual event. Next. In terms of talent and development, our key philosophy, right, is circle around, to ensure getting the right skill, for the talent, retention and development. And we do have a very comprehensive onboarding process to ensure all the new team members that come on board to be ready, to have the right start. And we also have the right support system, processes and tools to ensure we are able to continue, to build the key competency to ensure our team members are able to be successful in their role, and also together to plan for their, career aspiration. Next. So basically, this will be my last slide. I just want to call out to all the fellow participants. All right, I'd like to ask you to go and visit our Zebra website, through the QR code here, right? And to explore, anything job opportunity that might interest you, right? As I've shared, Zebra have been always focused, right, on the innovation. There's types of technologies that's available right now that you are able to learn, right? You are able to pick it up and to drive innovation. And I think we are also at the juncture that we are getting a lot of new technology around the big data, automation, AI, right? That this will be a juncture that we are able to leverage on those technology to drive things forward, right? So reach out to us to discuss more and how we are able to work together, to build today your skill set and create a new possibility for tomorrow. And with that, I'd like to end my presentation and sharing today, and looking forward, to talk to all of you again.
Thank you, Mr. Yam.
Thank you.
Thank you to all speakers for the informative session. Let's move on to the Q&A session. Appreciate if all the speakers can turn on your camera for this session. So now I would like to invite Mr. Kamarul Ariff, the Associate Director of Client Solutions for Evo Business Consulting, to moderate the Q&A session. Over to you, Mr. Kamarul.
All right, thank you, Yan, for your kind introduction. Hi, guys. My name is Kamarul. I'm from Evo Business Consulting, the outsourcing arm of PERSOLKELLY Malaysia. And I would like to take this opportunity to thank InvestPenang for the chance to moderate the Q&A session today. I'm truly honored to be here today together with all our esteemed panelists that has shared the opportunity of growing your career in multiple disciplines in Penang. Without further ado, perhaps maybe I would like to raise out some of the questions from our audience or panelists. And the first question, I will actually point this out to Mr. Victor from Western Digital. What are the main components that will entice the new talent to either join RAM or launch framework in the future? Mr. Victor?
Thank you, Kamarul. Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Okay. So I'll try to combine the answer for this either RAM or launch framework. Okay. So first and foremost, I think whether you are intern or a new college grad, you actually get the opportunity to provide solutions to real world programs, right? We're talking about whether it could be a production line problem, or if you are joining HR, you'll be exposed to real projects in HR that we are actually embarking on. you will be able to develop your network as well by attending a lot of on-site networking events. Unfortunately, currently we don't have any off-site networking events due to the pandemic. And you will also have the opportunity to learn directly from our leadership team. Okay, so we have our leadership team from different functions across Western Digital that students would have engagement with all these leadership teams. Okay, so I hope I've summarized my answer to answer your question. Right.
All right, thank you, Mr. Victor. The next question I would like to ask Mr. Ben Ong from Braun. So the question will sounds like this: should the candidate decide to join the company, would there be any chance of knowledge transfer that required the candidate to travel overseas and undergo trainings within the Braun global companies?
Yes. Short answer is yes. Maybe let me just explain a little bit. So the fact that we are always expanding, technology is always improving. So because of that, there will be obviously an opportunity to install new lines of production, to install new machine, but also to learn how to actually use and maintain and upgrade these production facilities as well. So not only we have engineers from the HQ or also overseas coming in, we also bring the other way around as well. So you can imagine over the last close to 50 years, this has been ongoing almost on a yearly basis. It was only really disrupted in the last 1.5 years, again, due to the COVID restrictions. But I can imagine that from next year onwards, if the borders are not so restricted, this again will pick up pace as well. So the short answer, yes.
All right, thank you, Mr. Ben Ong. Okay, the next question I would like to ask Mr. Yam from Zebra Technologies. There's a lot of opportunities out there for candidates to actually join multinational or SMEs or GLC to a certain extent. So my question to you will be, what are the advantages, of candidate joining Zebra's company in Penang?
Okay, thanks, Kamarul, for the question. Right, as I shared in the presentation just now, Zebra is at a very important juncture, right? That we have acquired quite a number of businesses for the past 3 years, and this is a time where we will be starting to growing the business, right? And in addition, right, we also empower a lot of our team member to acquire new skill, right, in analytics, in big data, in the AI, right? So I would say that this will be a right timing if the team have joined right now, and then it will be basically riding on the wave, for the future expansion.
I see. Okay, that's a good point, Ms. Young. Okay, perhaps if we don't have any further questions from the floor, perhaps maybe I should go around the table from this panelists that we have today. Perhaps maybe the last what we call that promotion or enticing words to ensure that this candidate will be able to come in and join your organization in near future. Perhaps maybe we can start with Mr. Victor.
Sure. I guess most of you already know that Western Digital is a global company. We have footprints across not only Malaysia but Thailand, China, Philippines, across Asia. There are always opportunities, right, to relocate, right, or apply internal opportunities within all the countries that we operate in. All right, so we constantly look out for new graduates as well as internships, all right, throughout our 5 sites in Malaysia. So take the opportunity to visit our website and apply through us. Thank you.
Maybe we can go to Mr. Ben.
My one-liner is build your career, not just in a company or a factory, but build your career by aligning your purpose with the organization's purpose. And our purpose in Braun is to improve the health for people around the world. And that person includes you, your family, and your friends. Come join us.
All right, Mr. Yap.
Yep, I think for summary, I think it will be for the team member that will be interested, to come to Zebra, come and join us. I think as I share, right, we are the people-centric organization, right? So we are focused into building up your skill set, and also to how your career aspiration, we can work together, how do we able to work together to achieve the business objective, as well as, grow your career, right?
All right, thank you, Mr. Yam. Perhaps before I conclude my moderation session, perhaps maybe Mr. Braun, do you have anything that, your last word that you want to share to all the graduates in Penang or in Malaysia in particular?
Thank you, Kamarul. I'm not sure how much of time I have now. Probably one of the questions that the youngsters, especially the job seekers from the fresh graduate category, might ask nowadays is like, hey, Brian, when I go into a company, when I join a company, how can I blend in with my colleague from different generation, right? Now, for all of your information, in the workforce market now, just like the telecommunication network, from 4G moving to 5G in Malaysia, in the workforce market now, we also have our 5G. Yeah, the 5th generation who are still active, fit, contributing to the market. Who are those 5G? From silent generation, baby boomers, Generation X, Y, and Z, right? And I believe most of the audience here, even the speakers, some of you, probably you're from the group of Gen Y and Z, right? So probably, I mean, I've been getting these questions usually from the youngsters, like, hey, Brian, how can I blend in? How can I know my colleague more? And etc. Now, if I can share, if I may share tips, Kamarul, my sharing with the audience. First thing first, right? When you are given the opportunity to join any company, my advice would be first things, blend in with your role first. Blend in with the company goal first. Understand what exactly is your job scope, your target, KPI, and of course, like what the speaker has mentioned, understand what's the company goal first, because if can, make this your best friend forever and ever as far as you're still in that company, because whatever that you will be doing after you join the company must be supporting you to achieve your goal, your job purpose in the company, right? So I think that would be the first thing you will need to blend in first before you blend in with your colleague from different generation. Now, even the colleague from different generation, I have to be a bit careful when mentioning this, because in the last session, I've mentioned the same thing. Hey, blend in with people after you blend in with your job scope and etc. Right? Blend in with people. 3 months after I bump into this fresh graduate again, who gotten a job, right? Who highlighted to me, Brian, cannot lah. I tried, but cannot blend in. My colleague just doesn't want to be friend with me. Yeah, I was like, okay, what have you done to build that friendship? Of course, this fresh graduate try his extra mile. It's a him, try his extra mile to even understand the colleague's family and etc. So without proper relationship building, straight away the candidate go into, blend in. Blend in means I need to build friendship with my colleague, right? Build the friendship. Now, if I may share advice, blend in, the definition of blend in here with your colleague means start to build that business partnership, not friendship. Yeah, the business partnership which will support you into executing your task, into delivering your job scope in your role and in the company. Right now, once you build that partnership, trust me, the friendship will come along, right? But don't focus on straight away building that friendship, because business partnership is what you need to build with your colleague around. Probably the next question all of you will ask me is like, hey, Brian, how lah? how to build that business partnership with elder generation, like Generation X, baby boomers in my company. Probably I share a few tips. First is ask question. Just simple, ask question. Now, as a fresh graduate, job seeker, that you don't have the knowledge, it's important for you to constantly seek for knowledge by asking question. And trust me, people from Generation X, baby boomers, they like sharing knowledge a lot. It's just that they don't chop it here and say that, come to me, ask me question. No, they don't, right? But they like chatting with you. They like sharing knowledge just like me. Once you triggered that conversation point, I can talk for days without stop. And that's why I tend to always overshot my conversation, especially when it comes to the topic of talent. So trust me, feel free. Don't be afraid to ask questions, especially to your seniors, right? By asking question, that create an engagement between you and your colleague as well. And that will bond you with you and your colleague as well, right? Second thing is, now of course, as a fresh employee in the market, you need to continue to stay humble. If you bump into anything that you are not aware of, that you do not know, don't feel afraid to say, I don't know, right? So what a lot of job seekers done in a not correct manner is they try to pretend that they know everything, right? Guess what? When you pretend that you know everything, nothing will come to your way, especially knowledge. And this is what a fresh graduate should build, your knowledge hub and knowledge center within the shortest time period as possible. Thirdly, is your learning attitude, like what the speaker has highlighted. They want to work with business partners, employees who constantly want to learn more, so that by learning more, they can grow more with the organization, with the colleague in the organization as well, right? So these are some of the pointers that I would like to share. Last but not least, sorry, Kamarul, you are not walking alone. I just wanted to let you all know, you are not walking alone. In PERSOLKELLY, we believe in partnering you to grow in your career, right? If you're a job seeker now, do make sure that you talk to people who can help you to understand what's the job market perspective before you secure a job. We can also help you to understand yourself first before applying a job, because it's important for you to know what's your capability, what's your strength. So leverage on that capability of yours when applying for a job. And of course, your aspiration, your purpose, like what Mr. Ben has mentioned earlier, right? You need to know what's the purpose, aspiration of yours, whether that aspiration of yours is aligned with that job applications companies, right? So that part, all you will need to know. So I just want to assure you that you are not alone in the market. Whenever you need help, any advice, free of charge, come to us, right? We will be more than happy and willing to share all those advice and sharing with you, right? Thank you very much, Kamarul.
All right, thank you, Brian. Okay, I think that's all the questions that we have in hand. And before I end my Q&A moderation session for today, allow me to share some pointers that I've gathered based on my personal experience in Penang. Well, unlike Mr. Ben Ong, I'm currently working and resides in Kuala Lumpur, but my hometown is in Balik Pulau, Penang. All right. So in the past, we have seen that Penang have grown tremendously since over the past few decades by holding the champion of E&E industry in Malaysia. And Penang is touted as one of the best location in Malaysia for investment in the country. We have seen growth in Penang, not only focusing on manufacturing, but moving up the value chain into integrated manufacturing services, along with the rise of global business services function among the multinationals that sparks up the career opportunities for professionals as well as fresh graduates in Penang. At this moment, Penang population stood approximately about 1.8 million population, and among the nation's highest population densities and one of the country's most urban states. With the further growth of Western Digital, Zebra Technologies, Braun in Penang, it will provide ample of opportunities to grow for talent, not only for those who are already working and resides in Penang, but for others as well from other states in Malaysia that would like to move and further grow their career in Penang. This will also allow PERSOLKELLY, the largest end-to-end HR solutions provider in APAC, whereby we have about 46 offices, across 13 countries within the region, with 2,000 employees servicing our client regionally, undertaking the HR function from temporary contract staffing, permanent placement, executive search, HR consultancy, training, outplacement, as well as partial and full-fledged outsourcing function to play in ensuring smooth supply of talent to support our clients' business in Penang. By having a cross balance between urbanization and heritage in Penang, the ease of commute from a place to another, reasonable cost of living, as well as good quality of life, and not forgetting, touted as the food heaven of Malaysia, makes Penang one of the perfect destinations for graduates and professionals, either local or expatriates, to further grow their career in the future. With all these lucrative offering, as one of the talents in Malaysia, I'm hoping that one fine day I'll be able to further grow my career as well as contribute to Penang economy in the near future. With that, I would like to thank all the speakers for answering all the questions imposed, and I would like to pass back the floor to our esteemed MCs of the day, Ms. Yan, for the next agenda. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Kamarul. Due to the limited time, we apologize if we did not cover your questions during the Q&A session. However, feel free to get in touch with PERSOLKELLY Malaysia, Western Digital Batu Kawan, Braun Medical Industry, and Zebra Technologies via the links or email addresses shown on the screen if you would like to know more about the companies. You may also reach out to Penang CAT Center via email or phone call should you have more questions. For more program to come, do follow Penang CAT Center's Facebook, as we will share more on our Facebook page. We hope you had a great time and lots of takeaway from today's session. Before we end this session, we would like to seek for your feedback and comments on this session for improvement of our future events. Kindly fill in a survey form after the session, and more than 10 lucky attendees who completed the form will be contacted by the organizer for a small token after the event. Once again, thank you to all speakers and our fellow attendees today. Stay safe, everyone, and hope to see you again in our future events. Thank you.